escape me.
So the stories are true. You are Dragonborn.
Alright, welcome back everybody to another episode of the Mind of Mando. I'm your host Mando Podcast. Hope you guys are doing very, very wonderful today. I am somewhat early in morning, involuntary 4-day weekend, but you know, it's part of being an adult. Oh, I messed up my hair right there. Boom. Yeah. I don't know. I cut my hair myself. You like it? I've been doing that for how long though? Alright, so like I said, hope you guys are doing great. I decided to use my morning right now that my lady and her dad was actually with us over the weekend. He's a cool guy. I do like him and everything like that. I like helping him out, her and I and everything, but now they're both gone today and tomorrow, and well, her because she's just at work. She's gonna be back later, but you know, but yeah, I just decided to do another episode. You know, how do you call it? I ended up, how do you say it? I ended up finding out some stuff today. All right. It happened a few days ago, like almost a week ago, I believe, but I didn't find out until today. I wanted to just talk about a couple of things that's happened in the past 2 weeks, not in my personal life, but like in the news. And honestly, when I saw these stories, it was more like, Jesus Christ, people are really like that. You know, in the world we live in today, especially now that social media is such a huge part of our daily lives, and so is technology and capturing everything on video, and especially now, 2023, where the victim complex is stronger than I ever thought it could ever be. And who knows, maybe in another 10 years, it could even be even stronger. But wishful thinking that it doesn't. People start taking accountability for themselves and their actions and stop looking at every little thing done towards them as, oh, it's because I'm this gender. Oh, because I'm this race. Oh, because I look like this. Oh, you know, it's ridiculous. So, what am I talking about? Well, we got a couple of things today that I wanted to speak on and everything. And I'll just get right into it. First one is actually going to be pretty local news here in the city of San Diego, sunny San Diego, which, by the way, I know it's hella like bright in this area and everything, but how do you say it? It's been very sunny lately. Very, very beautiful. You know, I have a couple plans to do today. I'm not really going to stick on my computer. I've been on my computer all weekend because there was nothing really else I can do, and it sucked. And it sucked, but I'm just going to do some stuff today. Like hopefully if I wrap this up pretty quick, get ready, I'm just going to go to Muay Thai and probably lift some weights after that, go for a run just to cool off. And then I am going to get changed and I don't know, maybe go out for a walk, go to the park, read a book, and yeah. So, you know, that's just me for today. Well, anyways, what I wanted to talk about was local news for here in the great sunny San Diego. Man, it could get better outside, but it looks pretty good so far. And this happened in just up north of where I'm at right now. You know, just if I were to walk to where this happened, it would probably take me about 15 minutes to walk there max. So yeah, just Check this video out.
A man detailing a walk-turned-nightmare in Hillcrest as he was harassed and then set on fire. He tells ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen the motivation for the attack was hate. And we do want to warn you that some of the images are graphic.
The majority of the burns are on my side torso, going up my back.
A week later,
Very uncomfortable.
moving around remains painful for Scott Rowan ever since an evening walk
Instantly just went into flames.
turned into something from a horror movie. Last Monday night, Rowan says he stopped by the loft on 5th Avenue and inquired about a job. He left past 8 p.m. and headed south towards his downtown apartment, intending to call an Uber. His memory is hazy, but somewhere within a few blocks, he heard what sounded like two people yelling gay slurs.
This, that word came up quite a bit.
With no one around him, Rowan, who is gay, realized the slurs were being directed at him.
Yelled back a couple things like that, hey, that's up.
Moments later, he heard footsteps behind him.
Rowan says as he turned around, he caught a quick glimpse of one of the people, a man in his 20s or 30s. At the same time, he says a clear liquid was thrown at him. It had the consistency of water.
Immediately after that, I went up kind of like coals on a barbecue.
On fire, Rowan says he stopped, dropped, and rolled on the cement, patting himself and quickly putting out the flames. Rowan suffering second-degree burns, mostly along his side and back. It is unclear if he'll need surgery. Do you believe this was a hate crime?
Oh, this is absolutely a hate crime.
As the stream of slurs replays in his mind, Rowan is keenly aware of upcoming Pride events.
Nobody walks around with flammable liquid like that without having an agenda. They were obviously out targeting LGBT community.
Rowan sharing his story in hopes of spreading awareness.
There's still lots of haters out there. Don't want this to happen to anybody else.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
All right. So as we saw there, you have this man saying that he was a victim of a hate crime in the Hillcrest of San Diego. The thing is this, when I started hearing the story, one, it's like if someone doesn't like you for whatever you are, you can't help it, and they commit a heinous act towards you, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It doesn't matter, your sexuality or what your gender is or your race, nationality, ethnicity, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like, someone sets you on fire, that's a pretty messed up thing that they need to go to prison for the rest of their life, or at least what I think. Thing is, as I was watching this, a couple of things immediately popped out to me that I thought was very, very, very odd. One of them was the loft. Yeah, it's in by the Hillcrest area. I'm not gonna say it's in Hillcrest. At least, you know what? Let me double check. And there's a reason why I'm saying this right now. One second. I have maps pulled out right here because I just really wanted to make sure I was in the correct area. Oh no, you know what? I stand corrected. Yes, Hillcrest, the loft where he went to go do that interview for a job, that is in the Hillcrest area. The reason why that's very important to the story is because Hillcrest, I don't know where everybody else is from, but for me back home in SF, there's the Castro. The Castro is very, very famous and iconic for being home to people who are gay. People who are gay or lesbian or bi or whatever, you know what? That's the area that they, claim as their own. The Castro. A lot of pride flags there, a lot of rainbows, etc., etc., etc. Did you know in SF, I think now as long as you have a permit, but you can legally walk gay. You can walk naked in the Castro 100% for free. No repercussions. Nothing like that. All you need is a permit and everything. And that's it. You can just, you think I'm kidding. It's the truth. I mean, like when my family and I had to pass by there a couple of times and everything, that it wasn't every single time we went through there, but it was a couple of times where we just see people walking in butt ass naked, just straight up. All they needed to do was bring like a sheet or newspaper or anything, because they weren't allowed to sit down on any public surface with just their bare ass. They had to put something on the way. So yeah, whenever you see people walking naked just through the street, if they're planning on like sitting anywhere, they had to have something of their own to put down on the seat. But other than that, it was completely legal for them to walk naked. I don't know if that's still the case right now, especially after COVID, but that was a thing. Well, anyways, the Hillcrest here in San Diego is basically San Diego's Castro. It is very, very openly gay. It is very, pro-gay. And that's the area where a lot of the gay people go to that they claim as their own. That's very concentrated on gay people. Rainbow flags, all these events, these parades, the bars, all that stuff, purely gay. And there's a couple of places you can go. Pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. So how do you call it? It struck me as odd for the fact that, one, the loft isn't even open that late, and if they were looking to interview people, it's usually when the owner's there. And I've worked in my fair share of clubs and bars to know that the owner doesn't stick around till 1 or 2 a.m. And it's not even like the loft is a bar. It's a restaurant bar, but it's primarily a restaurant. And yeah, I don't see the owner being like, oh yeah, just come in at 2 a.m. when they're trying to like look for people. No. So this is very, 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 very likely. Actually, you know what? Does it have the time of day on there? I don't want to be speaking on my ass. Yeah, 8 o'clock. A good amount of people are still out by 8 o'clock. That's insane. Well, anyways, the thing that struck me as fishy is that this crime happened in the Hillcrest. Like the reasons I said before, it's because there's a lot of gay people in the Hillcrest. A lot of gay people who live in the Hillcrest, who walk those streets, who are open about everything there because that's their neighborhood, And to have somebody just walking around, or two people walking around trying to like beat them up and everything like that, especially in the month of June, especially when how do you call it? They're having like events and parades because this is Pride Month and everything. It's very odd how people like this, who supposedly hate gay people, commit hate crimes against gay people, would only target one person in a random, not even late night. Because at 8 o'clock here, 8 o'clock, it's this light is still somewhat out. I know back home, because I talked to my family back home in SF, the sun doesn't even fully go down until like 9 p.m. So down here it goes down like maybe an hour earlier. But my point is, it's very odd time. It's a very odd time and a very odd way to carry about it if you really wanted to commit a heinous crime against somebody who's gay, unless it was spur of the moment. I guess I could see that. But I mean, like, he even stated himself, was like, who walks around with this and that unless you're going out there actually trying to make harm to people and everything. And it's just like, okay. Well, anyways, that was my first thing. The hate crime happening in the Hillcrest. That's like a hate crime happening in the Castro against gay people. It's just like, you're going to have a lot of witnesses around. A lot of them. So it's going to be very likely more than just one person's word. Second thing is the fact that, as you guys saw in the news video, that he said that he only caught a glimpse of one of them, who looked between in his 20s and 30s. That's a huge gap. If you take somebody who's 20 years old and take another person who's 30 years old, you're going to see that they look vastly different, because that's just what age and time does to you. You can take care of yourself, you can pamper yourself, give yourself seaweed wraps, wash your face every day, moisturize, etc., etc., etc. You'll look good, but you won't look like you're 20 unless you have those specific genetics. And even at that, it's like, come on, man, how are you going to get all these coincidences all at once? You're in, the Hillcrest, where other gay people are walking around. You're not the only, very likely not the only one walking around. It's not late at night, and you're the only one that gets targeted by somebody with like genes to make them look younger than what they really are. But it's just I don't know, this is all the stuff running in my head, a lot of these coincidences. Well, anyways, either way, the fact that he was able to be determined 20 to 30 years old, it was that's pretty big age gap. It's 10 years. 20s or 30s, whatever, Usually if you want to say a close age group, you go late 20s, early 30s, because at least you have a very, very small window, a smaller window than if you were just say between 20s and 30s. That's such a broad area, that one. And yeah, they said they poured liquid. The guy poured liquid on him, set him on fire. He's like, I lit up like charcoals or whatever. He had to roll down the floor, stop, drop, and roll, which is smart, and put it out and everything. The guys weren't there anymore. Like I said, it sucks if people do things like that to people solely because there's something that they can't help that they are. That's terrible. But like I also said, this was very fishy to me. And I didn't want to dismiss the fact that this could be very well genuine, but I wanted to know if there was more. Despite this being like, how many days ago? I think this was 8 days ago. Hold on. Sorry, guys. This was the 19th. So yeah, 7 days ago. 8 days ago. Anyways, yeah, so I wanted to see if there's more. Because I feel, I mean, I'm sorry, but this guy just looks like a douche. He just 100% looks like a douche. And I'm like, I don't think people would do anything to this guy if it wasn't unprovoked or anything. Although that's very maybe like messed up of me to think about it, but I'm just like, dude, this guy looks genuinely like a douche. I'm sure there's more to this story. I'm sure there is. And wouldn't you know, I was right.
San Diego police now say the man started the whole thing and attacked a pregnant woman. For that, we go to our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo, who joins us live in studio now with this new information. Laura, police say they have to investigate all allegations here.
Yeah, Wale, that's what they are telling us. They are calling this a complex investigation, but say there is video that shows the man first assaulting a pregnant woman. SDPD says that video is not being released because it is considered evidence as this investigation continues. On Monday, Scott Rowan showed his burn injuries to ABC 10 News, saying he'd been set on fire in what he described as a targeted attack.
Oh, this was absolutely a hate crime.
Rowan, who is gay, said he had left the loft on 5th after asking about a job when he heard what sounded like two people shouting gay slurs.
That word came up quite a bit.
Then he says a liquid was thrown on him. He shared these pictures of his injuries.
Immediately after that, I went up kind of like coals on a barbecue.
But a release from SDPD Wednesday night tells a different story. According to police, they got a call that night of a man attacking a pregnant woman. Officers arrived, but the suspect was nowhere to be found. The woman was bleeding and had multiple injuries. About an hour later, SDPD says they got another call from a man reporting someone had set him on fire. Investigators determined the man with the burn injuries was the suspect in the attack on the pregnant woman. In addition, police say there is video evidence that shows the initial assault by the man on the pregnant woman and then her use of fire as a weapon on him. Both incidents are now being criminally investigated. So far, there have been no arrests. Now, SDPD says they believe this is an isolated event and say there is no threat to the community. Now, we did reach out to Rowan about SDPD's release today. He did not return my calls or my text.
So there you go. I was right. I knew something was fishy about it. I knew there was something just like not right about this story and everything. Too many factors go into play. You're in a predominantly gay neighborhood, exiting out of a place to get a job. It's 8 p.m., not even that late, especially during the middle of summer. And you're the only person out of everybody else. And trust me, I've lived long enough here in San Diego to know that the Hillcrest, especially in that area, is not barren. It's not empty or secluded or anything like that. It's there amongst a bunch of people who live in the area, amongst a bunch of people walking down the street and driving by and everything like that. You think nobody saw except you? No, dude. And it's just like there was too many things. There was too many factors. And so when I kept looking, it didn't even take me that long to look. I ended up finding this. The dude who went on the news and were like, oh, hate crime. Oh my God, they hate me because I'm gay, despite being in a gay neighborhood and who's very, gay friendly, and there's parades going around because we're gay and everything. despite saying all that, it was like, he did something. I just know it. And then that's exactly what he did. As you guys saw in the video, there was a woman who called the police saying she was assaulted by a man and that she used fire to get him away from her, to save herself. By police, she was bloodied, she was bruised and everything. She was pregnant. You know how far pregnant? They didn't say. They're not showing. They're not even disclosing who this woman is. But it doesn't matter whether your baby's a fetus or a few months or you're about to give birth. Assaulting a pregnant woman not only puts her but the future baby at risk, and it's terrible. And it's terrible because now if you kill her and they don't save the baby in time, you killed the baby too, and now you're going away with double murder, you know? So how do you call it? I can only imagine being a pregnant woman, being attacked by some dude, and just getting beaten to the point where you feel like your only defense is whatever you have on hand. How did she conjure up fire? How? Do women even carry hairspray anymore? Is that even a thing they keep in their bags? Because if it is, then damn, that must have really helped her. I mean, like, dude, all you need is a lighter and hairspray. That's it. And you just start lighting people on fire. How did he get second-degree burns? Because you don't really instantaneously catch on fire just by hairspray and lighter. You have to lay it on this person's clothes. So they were probably wearing something that was insanely flammable in order to get second-degree burns and all that stuff. But either way, the guy was gone. The guy who assaulted her was gone. And when they got that call regarding, a hate crime, and they found out that this was the guy who was reportedly assaulting this pregnant woman, and now that there's video evidence of it, it's like, there you go. This is some Jussie Smollett ass stuff, except this guy didn't orchestrate his own burning. He was very likely the cause of it. There was a reason why he was burnt, except now, like Jussie, who was being like, oh, this happened because I'm a gay black man who's French, and people hate me, and I didn't orchestrate this myself. This guy is like, oh, this happened because I'm a gay man, and they hate gay people. And it's like, no, you were beaten. You were assaulting a pregnant woman, so much so that she needed to defend herself with fire so you can get away from her. And then you run away and then call 911, and then you say, hey, I'm a victim of a hate crime. Except now it's all making sense. The fact that nobody else saw it except you. Nobody else, what was there to corroborate your story or anything like that. It's ridiculous. It's 100% ridiculous how this guy tried to pull that off and everything. Now, in the end of that news video, you guys saw that it says PD's pointing out the fact that this was an isolated incident, that this is not a targeted attack, because it's the truth. These are just two people who got in an altercation. One of them started beating the other who was pregnant, and then the one who was pregnant set the dude on fire. Now they're saying, they're investigating, they're treating it as both criminal acts and everything like that. And it's just, I don't know the whole story. I don't know how it started. I don't know anything. Maybe this woman, pulled out a knife on him and threatened to just stab him and gut him and everything. And he was just like, oh, hell no, let me take you out before you take me out. And then she took through fire and then all that stuff. Or maybe this guy was just a giant douche and was just trying to cause problems because whatever problems he had in his head or at home or whatever, tried to take it out on another person, started beating her because she was the closest thing near him. And then she protected herself with fire. Who knows? A lot of things could happen. Either way, one thing's for sure. Somebody is going to jail, and somebody already clearly lied. And the fact that this fool decided to feel the need to lie about it being a hate crime, despite, and here's the thing, he clearly did lie, because other people can argue the whole case like maybe it was a hate crime, she set him on fire. It's like, no, this guy clearly said two men were yelling slurs at him after he got out of the loft, was it? Yeah. For a job interview. And he saw one man throw liquid on him and then set him on fire, while this person was clearly a woman. A woman did it. A woman who was pregnant did it. It's like, it's, you know, I feel like this dude's lying. Like 100% she was the victim, but who knows? Like I said, I'm just waiting for more story. Like, this was literally just a week ago, you know, and they updated the new report like 2 days later or something like that. But yeah, no, it's insane. Because it's just like that's what really grinds my gears, as Peter Griffin would say. Because you have this man right here who is legit saying that there's a problem of people hating gay people and starting to commit heinous acts against them solely because they're gay, and just like completely striking fear into people that shouldn't even be there. You know, what is wrong with people finding out that they no longer have to worry about the stuff they used to have to worry before? Once they see change happen for the good, for the positive, they get mad and try and start problems in a different area or orchestrate problems in a different area. You know why? Because in today's times, being a victim is cool. Being oppressed is cool. Being just a victim of society is the goal for people one day. Oh, we want equality. We just want to be treated equal. We want fairness. We want this. We want that. Please don't hurt us. Don't kill us. Don't hunt us. Don't do any of this heinous stuff to us and everything. And when people are like, we're not doing that to you, they're like, oh, what about that situation over there? And they're like, what are you talking about? Nothing happened. They're like, oh, look at this. And they're like, wait, you're faking that. That situation isn't real. That was you faking that, trying to blame it on people. And they're like, oh, poor me, I'm a victim, yada, yada. And it's just like, it's insane. People can't accept the fact that things are getting better for people who were once considered an oppressed, marginalized group or anything like that, that they have to start their own problems. They have to start their own problems in order to be seen as a victim, in order to be given attention and praised and uplifted and everything. And what am I talking about? Well, I already said Jussie Smollett. We already talked about this guy right here. And we're going to talk about another woman, another lady, as Bill Burr would say, in NYC. Let me see. Which one was it? Sorry, guys. You know what I hate is the fact that, which one was it? You know what? Why am I doing that? I should just show you the video. Jesus Christ.
Okay, let go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is gonna be all about me.
So as you guys saw there, it was a woman from La Guardia Community College in New York. Was it community college? Yeah. What's her name? Kadia Iman. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I have all that info correct. So Kadia Iman, graduating from La Guardia Community College in New York City. Graduating college is incredible. It's great. You know, honestly, you know, my mother and my dad, they both wanted for me to go to college. But my mother was more about like, listen, if you don't want to, that's your choice. That's your choice, but you're going to have to work. And I was like, yeah. So I decided not to go, ultimately. I mean, I went for like a semester and it sucked and I hated it. So I just never went again. And I just went working. And honestly, looking back at it, I wish I went. I wish I stuck by to it. I wish I had more interest in it because honestly, probably could have helped me a lot now. So, how do you go? But either way, I'm doing good for myself, I feel. So, La Guardia Community College, they were having their graduation just a few days ago. Also, this is all happening recently, except maybe if I get in touch, start with my third story. Well, anyways, they were doing their graduation this past week. And, so what was apparently happening, because there's a video showing the graduation ceremony, if you can call that. And this woman in the middle, this white woman right here, she was putting microphones to everybody's faces. They had 2 lines, both beside her. And she would go to one line, let someone say their name who was graduating, and then she'd go to the second line, let the person say their name because they're graduating, and she'd just alternate left and right, just letting students say their name left and right, left and right, left and right. And how do you say it? Yeah, nothing bad about that. You know, not the best graduations. From what I heard, they didn't even go on stage. They were just forming 2 lines in their cap and gown. But it got to this woman. What was her name again? I already forgot. Iman? Something? Kari Iman? Yeah. And woman put the mic in her face. She said her name, and then she put it to the other person's face for they to say her name. This girl, you can't even call her a woman. She's a girl, the way she acts, came back and, as you saw in that video, started scuffling with that woman for the microphone. And she was like, "You snatched the mic out of my hand. I'm getting my moments, my name. I'm graduating. This is my moment. It's all about me, yada, yada, and this and that." And it's like, you know, this girl had to, after she said her name and kept going, had to stand there and just really concentrate that moment in her hand and just construe things so much so that she can finally convince herself that she was the victim of some sort of racism in that situation, in order for herself to justify to herself going back and doing what she did. Why am I saying some form of racism? Why am I saying that? Well, because she released a video on her TikTok explaining the situation.
So, here's my story time. Basically, what happened was I was walking on, and we had to announce our names and say our name before we get on the stage. So, I was saying my name, and she literally, my name is long. My name, obviously, I have like 3 syllables in my name. I'm not gonna say exactly my name right now, but okay, just so you get a point. So I didn't even finish getting to say my name. And then the people that went before me and everything, they all got to say their name, their major, and even extras. And me and another girl noticed that she was pulling the mic down super fast for some black people. I don't want to be that person, but that was the tea. So, I mean, I just couldn't let that happen, because I just feel like I worked so hard to graduate and went through so much to graduate that I just felt like I had to reclaim my moment. I'm sorry, like, I'm not a problematic person. I don't want to ruin no one's day. I don't want to violate anybody, but that's what she did. She didn't even let me finish speaking. She put the mic down, cut me off, and that was the only time I was able to speak. So I just feel like that wasn't right.
So yeah, so she goes on. The reason I say it was a racist thing that was being hinted at about this thing is because you saw right there in that video at some point she goes, me and this other girl noticed that she was pulling the mic away pretty fast for some black people. I don't want to be that person. It's like, you do want to be that person. You do want to be that person. And there's a reason why you want to be that person, and that's because victim complex and having attention to you is what's popular right now. It's what's in, and it's sad because people are willing to go out there and make themselves look insanely stupid in order to achieve that goal, if you could even call it that. That's a terrible goal. That's insanely. But I mean, like, what else can I expect, you know, from somebody who tries to just walk away, justify something to themselves, construe something that just happened into their own head so they can justify their next actions to make themselves hella noticeable, hella loud and everything, and then just absolutely get dogged on the internet for and everything. And the reason I know that this is not what's happened, because other people who are graduating from that, you know, that same class, that same school year, from the same La Guardia Community College, who were there when that happened, spoke up. They spoke up, and people were speaking up. You know, my people, like other people out there, might be like, oh, you know, it's the oppressors, it's the white people who are all trying to say she's wrong, yada yada. No, these are some black women who are saying, yo, this chick, she needs to chill the hell out.
So that video is a little hard to watch. But I too graduated from LaGuardia Community College yesterday, class of 2023. I was there. Everyone had the opportunity to say their first and last name. No one said anything more. No one said anything less. The young lady, I understand it was her moment. I feel like she went around about that the wrong way. No one was discriminated against. No one was racially profiled. No one was trying to discriminate against her. And to be totally honest, she handled this very poorly. I'm sorry that she felt like she had a bad experience, but this was the only issue all day yesterday. The ceremony was great. Everything else was great.
Basically, like I'm the furthest from the truth. Graduation went like this. I was in the graduation. I graduated with my graduation. Basically, there was two sections, Section A and Section B. And within those two sections, there was two long lines. And we were told to say our names when we approached the lady in the video to say our names within the mic. But she didn't know any of our names to know whether or not it was long, short, how many siblings, XYZ. She didn't know. To hold it a certain way, how long, none of that. So basically, there was people who did say other things extra other than their name, but they weren't just one race. There was a lot of people of all races saying other things other than the race, but we wasn't told to say our major, any of that. We were just really told to say our first and last name. I also have said things extra than my first and last name. I said I love my mama, and some girl before me who was also a chocolate girl said big up Jamaica. So I don't see where this, because we're black and all this other things that's coming into play. I also believe that she did that because it was a little white old lady. If it wasn't anybody else, I don't believe she would have done that. She would have took her L and would have walked. If that was the case, if that really happened. Also, the mic was never handed to us for it to get snatched. The lady was going back and forth to each line, because remember there was two lines with a person, and going back and forth, going to each person like this to say their names. So it wasn't no pause for somebody to hold the mic to say their name, to take it back or anything. So she wanted her moment, she got her moment. That's what she was looking for, a moment.
So yeah, sorry about the second one's audio. I don't think it's best. She's pretty. Wow. So there you go. Two black women also there graduating at that place, who were there when they saw this other black woman snatch the mic from this white woman and basically be like, I'm a victim, you were racist to me, this and that, yada yada, you know. Both stating, hey, nobody was being discriminated. Oh, sorry about the train. No one was discriminating about you. No one was being discriminated on. Nobody was being treated unfairly. People were being let their names, maybe a few things extra here and there and everything. Just because you feel like you were wronged doesn't mean you were wronged. I believe, was it? Yes, the second one was saying the woman didn't know any of these students. The white lady who was putting the mic in people's faces so they can say who they are and they're graduating. She didn't know any of their names. So there was no way for her to know that who had a long name or not. The one who snatched the mic out of this lady's hand, she was like, oh, I have a pretty long name. It's 3 syllables. That's not a long name. Look at the guy who played Urkel, Jaleel White. Is that his name? Yeah. Three syllables. That wasn't long at all whatsoever. You want to know a long name? My name. Just take my first name and my last names. Armando Ortega de Leon. You know, that's already 8 syllables right there. But it's just, I can get that out pretty fast. So what was the problem? I mean, from my understanding is the only requirement was to say your name, and that's it. Anything extra, that wasn't mandatory. Not at all. I mean, like, if they're cool with you and they're cool with, you know, letting that happen, that's fine. But it's not a requirement. Just say your name. Know who's graduating. That's all, you know? I mean, like, fun story. When I was graduating high school, I remember the day of my graduation, I remember walking up to my principal, and I'm telling, hey, yo, bro, listen, I'm graduating today. Back then, I was like hella into Batman, you know, before DC and his fanboys started ruining him. I was hella into Batman, super into Batman. My friends knew I was super into Batman, you know, and what do you call it? I was just like, hey, bro, you know, please, I'm graduating. It's my last time I'm gonna be here. Just introduce me as the Batman or whatever, you know, or between you say my name. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. You know, he was telling me, the principal was telling me, no, he's not going to do it, because he's the one announcing people's names as they cross that stage to graduate and everything. What do you call it? Oh, motorcycle. I'm sorry if you hear the motorcycle outside. So he was the one announcing everybody's names. So, how do you call it? He kept telling me no. So as, you know, the ceremony went on and everything like that, and it started getting up to me, I was just like, dude, I really got to convince him. The person in front of me got announced, and they started walking across the stage, and I'm like, hey, come on, bro, please, just, this is the only time you got to do it. I'm the only one who asked you, believe me, this and that, you know, just please, come on, just give me this one moment, yada, yada. And that's when he did it. Like, he announced the name Armando the Batman Ortega de Leon, and I was like, I think my family has that on video, so I gotta find it, I swear to you. But yeah, no, that was pretty sick. But here's the thing, the reason I said that is because they don't have to do anything besides let your name be known, and that's it. Anything extra, any extra messages, any extra phrases or whatever, that's up to them if they're willing to allow it, you know. But your name is the only requirement as far as I'm understanding. And these women are saying the same exact thing. It's just like, they don't know your name. They don't know how lengthy it is. They're letting you say it. People can say a little extra here and there, but, you know, not everybody's going to. And I'm sure there's a lot more people aside from her, the one who snatched away the mic, who wanted to say something extra, but they didn't. You know? But you don't see any of them. You don't see any of them coming back and snatching mics away, because it's not a big deal in the end of the day. Their name was let known that they were graduating, and that was it. So yeah, so how did this response go? You know, with people going like, hey, this woman's stupid. This woman is freaking stupid. Like, how do you think she reacted? Well, she turned off comments from the video. So you can't comment on it, because I'm sure she was getting bombarded. It was like, yo, you're sad. It's like, dude, this is so dumb. You're dumb, you know? And she also privated her profile, so nobody else can, like, you know, go see her videos or anything like that. This happened after the backlash she received for being proven wrong. And what else? Well, how about this right here? Let me pull it up real quick. I know it's somewhere around here. Jesus, Lord Almighty. No, not that one. Where is it? Jesus. I'm sorry, guys. Was it the Daily Mail or was it this? It wasn't this. I'm using these sources. I mean, like, they're not like super political. This is just stuff that you can see every day, you know. Just so happens to be the first links. Okay. So on her Instagram, right here, she posts up, to everybody saying I should be embarrassed or I'll never get a job. I'm a black woman in America, and I am always in the right. You will not gaslight me into thinking I'm the bad guy. I did it for girls that look like me. Love you. There you go. Remember, she doesn't want to be that person. Right? No, she's lying. I was right. She wants to be that person. She wants to guide everybody else to that conclusion. And if they don't go there themselves, she's just going to spoon feed it like, oh, you know, I don't want to be that person, but this is what it was, you know? And this just clearly shows that she was that person. She was that person who wanted to make this about race, who wanted to make this about poor me. I'm a black woman in America, yada yada. Disregard the fact that I make money. Disregard the fact that I just graduated college. Disregard the fact that, you know, I don't, how do you call it? I don't have to work hard manual labor at some oil rig out in the ocean, or I'm a child being forced into labor in a third world country. No, disregard all that. Look at my skin. Look at my skin. That means I'm a victim. That means that I'm always going to be the one who's a victim of anything. What? College graduate? College education? No, forget that. Forget that. I'm a victim. I'm a victim, you know? So how do you say it? Yeah, no, that was ridiculous. And then her saying all this, people were telling me I shouldn't be embarrassed and I want to go to a job. It's like, I'm always right. I'm a black woman in America, and you will not gaslight me into thinking I'm a bad guy. I did it for girls who look like me. Love you. So here's the thing. 2 other women, the women that I showed you who responded to her whole claim that this was racist, 2 women who were also dark-skinned black women, responding to her saying, no, you're wrong. What about them? They were actually there. They were part of the graduation. They were part of the ceremony. They saw what you did. They have the same skin tone as you, and they're both saying you're wrong. What about them? Are they wrong? 2 against 1. Come on. And not only that, there's the footage of you actually doing it. And people don't side with you. You know what this is? This is somebody who, one, can't hold themselves accountable because they tried to do something and are now just they have too much pride to backpedal. Because I'm positive this girl knows that she's wrong. I'm positive she knows that she just screwed up big time, and her image is tainted. I'm not going to say forever because this is the internet. There's going to be another new story next week or something. But this woman, for the time being, her image is tainted. If she wants to go to a place or anything like that, who cares about their image or cares about the people that work, how they are for them and everything like that? If they see her name pop up and they confirm that this is indeed the same woman as this video, as this situation, they're gonna be like, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Because if you couldn't act like that, if you're willingly acting like that in a setting where there's so many people out in the public and don't care, and you show absolutely zero remorse when you received the backlash you did because you were wrong, why would I want you to work for me? Why? So she just doubled down. I mean, like, she does. I know she also does feel some sense of embarrassment too, because why else would you private your profile on top of turning off comments? You know, why? You're wrong. You know you're wrong. But here's the thing, like I said, the other episode, the internet is forever. Anything you post up there, it can get deleted. It can try and get purged off the face of the earth, of what the internet is. But somebody, somewhere, will always have a copy of that video and will always find a site to post it up. So yeah. Other than that, how much time have I got? 49 minutes? All right, let me try and do how do you call it? Actually, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. Sorry about that. Thank you for putting up with me. So I was going to talk about a third story that fits the theme of the ones today, but I feel like with all the things I'm planning on doing in the afternoon, it's actually getting pretty lengthy. And on top of that, I still got to edit it. So maybe for next time. But I will tell you this. I will try and put it on another episode soon. I went to go watch the new Spider-Man movie. And it was dope. Let me tell you that. It was hella cool. And I really liked it. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed these 2 stories. Let me tell you, remember, there are some crappy people out there. And when we live in the time where people who look a certain way or are from a certain area are supposed to be seen as people who can do no wrong, or it's actually, you know, against what is it called? What is the word I'm trying to think of? It's politically incorrect to criticize people like this. Just do it. Screw it. If someone does crap that needs to be called out, call them out. That's what I do. That's what I always do. It's what I will continue on doing, because it's ridiculous. It's time for us to just start owning up to things that we do. Sometimes you're gonna screw up. I screw up a lot. Sometimes you're just gonna lose. Sometimes you just gotta take it. That's it. That's just how life works. People aren't gonna coddle you always and everything, which is why I keep saying that I doubt this is gonna continue in the next 10 years, because if it does, then the world is truly lost. But other than that, like anything else in life, I feel like it's a cycle. We're hitting towards the end of the cycle of to the end of the circle that has everybody be weak and fragile, and some major event is going to happen, and the people who are truly strong are going to rise up. They're going to rise up, take care of everybody else, and everybody else can't do anything but become submissive, and things are going to cycle back to how they used to be in the old days and everything like that. Everybody has roles, everybody has things on how they do things and everything like that, because that's just the way life works. It's like you have these weak ass people creating the toughest times, and now when tough times hits, it's going to take strong people to make sure it doesn't get any worse and actually fix things around here. So yeah, other than that, I want to say thank you guys for joining me again in another episode of the Mando. I've been your host, Armando Ortega. Please take care of yourselves. Look both ways before crossing the street, and I will see you next time. Peace.